What's going on, guys? Welcome back again to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about the Ugrc Lab Dr.Climbenstein. Let's get into this. So now this is not a normal Climbenstein, kind of like my Outlaw, not normal. So the Dr. Climbenstein chassis is actually made for a TRX4 Sport conversion. I did not go that route with mine. I had a base camp that I instead decided to take apart and put on the chassis. So it's a little bit different than what it's supposed to be, but it still works just as awesome. As always, Ugrc Lab gives you options of what you can use for a skid. Obviously, I went with the 3-gear skid to mount up my Stealth X. So this is kind of a combination of an element and a base camp build. What I would consider a budget LCG build. Obviously, with that 12-degree skid, you still get plenty of clearance under there. More clearance than you know what to do with. Reef's Raw 500 Servo, one of my personal favorites to go to as far as being in the trails goes. More than enough power. As I said, I am running the Stealth X transmission on this, which gives me, I think I'm running an 11% overdrive in that, the one that comes with most of your element trucks. And then we got the AR45s, which I think I have the 9.5 overdrive portal gears. So that gives me, I want to say, around 20, 9.5, 11. We're looking at about 28.5% overdrive. And then I also have the underdrive gears in the rear. I'm floating somewhere around like 36%, I think. Last time I checked it. I could be wrong on some of those figures. Don't quote me on it, please. I am running the axial shocks on it. I have limiters up front, so that way it doesn't completely unload. Some guys will tell you that you shouldn't need limiters if you set it up right. Me personally, it's not about, I could take the limiters off, and as you can see, it really doesn't unload that much. But it's more about when I'm going up inclines, I really want that front end to stay tucked to the axle. I do not want it unloading at all. But then I still am able to get plenty of articulation out of it. The rear, as you can see, I have it set up at quite of an angle. What that's doing is it's giving me that articulation, but again, unload is not a thing. I have barely any unload. I mean, that's all the movement I'm getting out of there. We do have some new wheel and tire setup on it. I have the Shift Mavericks, new splatters, and then we have some J Concepts holds, and I do have Proline dual stages in them. A combo I haven't gotten to run yet. I've seen my buddy run the holds. They did pretty well for him. This will be my first time trying them. Usually I run these Tusks. These Tusks have the green Injora inserts in them. And I'm also running the Three Brothers tuning rings with the green foams. The green foams I found were a little too soft, so the sidewall was still kind of bending in a little too much. Once I added the tuning rings from Three Brothers, it made that sidewall nice and stiff again. Not too stiff, but stiff enough. My Climbenstein is a lighter rig on the spectrum of all the other ones I have, so it didn't take too much to stiffen it up a little bit to get that sidewall. I am still running stock base camp lowers up front. I have some high clearance uppers. And then we are also running high clearance rears to get me that extra clearance underneath. I am running the Fusion 1800 kV SE with a 1500 milliamp glow back battery. We got the plastic drive shafts on there. So basically this, when I built this Climbenstein, my idea behind it was a budget-friendly trail cheater. That's exactly what I was going for. You know, I wanted a cheater rig that I could take in the trails, beat the crap out of, and not have to worry about it. Not have to worry about, you know, sticks and rocks or anything getting in there. So that's why I went with a Stealth X with an in-runner Fusion, rather than, you know, like a Tulo with an outrunner, which wouldn't be good for the kind of stuff that I'm using this rig for. Granted, the 36% overdrive is not the greatest for the woods, but it does okay for itself. Replace some bearings here and there, replace the tires when they need it. I can, you know, it's not too bad. These the sliders that I have on this are actually from my G-Speed V4. They are not for this one. You can get sliders for this now. When I built this, there weren't sliders available for yet. There are now. So that's something that you guys don't have to worry about, where I did. I have put this on a scale as well, and like my other rigs, I did get a nice 60-40 ratio, and that's with the battery on there. I am not running any brass on my wheels. The only brass I do have are brass outer portals, the outer portal covers. I have those. And that seems to be about all I've really needed for this rig. It does pretty well the way it is with how low it's set up. It really doesn't want to tip over at all. The only difference right now, as far as what I've changed on it with the wheels and tires, would be the tusks setup tend to sit a little bit wider on it. Those are deep dish wheels that I have on there. You can't tell because the ring's in there, but they are a deep dish setup, whereas obviously those are not. So it did make it a little bit narrower. I am curious to see how that affects the side hill stability, but with the Proline dual stages in there, I don't think that's really going to be an issue. Well, that's the chassis setup. Check out Ugrc Lab's website. They got a good variety of chassis for you, depending on what you're looking for. So next, let's take her out on the rocks and see how it does. So far, so good. Just floated right over that crack. That's good. Suspension's doing its job. Get her a little twisted up right here, see what it does. Look at that clearance a little bit. So right here, you can really see how much that clearance makes such a difference. You know, without that skid right there, without that 12-degree angled skid and that breakover angle, I would have completely gotten stuck on that rock right there. That's where these Ugrc chassis just shine, is with that breakover angle. It's unreal the amount of stuff that you can clear with these chassis. Try something else right here. Another fun clearance spot. Once again, I mean, I'm rubbing on body right there, but it didn't even touch that skid. Didn't even come close. So far, so good. Definitely enjoying these holds. I would be curious to see what they would do with some inserts vented, but obviously you can't really say no to Proline. Dual stages, they are still one of the greatest foams, in my opinion. Besides Crawler Innovations too. I do run those as well, especially when it comes to the different sizes. You know, my PBXs are 4.05s, and obviously Proline doesn't make a foam that works with those, but Crawler Innovations does, and they do a really great job. Downhill angle here with a partial side hill. Kind of hard to tell watching it, but it was kind of downward and sideways. She handled it no problem. Plenty of noise there from the body, from these tires rubbing the body. A little bit of fender rub isn't going to hurt anything. This is a very slick rock here. Sometimes it just requires a little bit of heating up the tires to get up it. And there we go. Just like I said, heat up the tires a little bit and we are right up it. Whew. There's a steep side hill there. And notice how it didn't completely flip over. She got onto her side and stayed there. That is some pretty good balance there, and some good luck, I guess. See if I can't get her out of that. Back onto her feet. Alright, well, as you can imagine, we did not get her back onto her feet. So we are just continuing right from where we were. That was my fault, not paying attention to where my truck wanted to go and what it was actually doing.
12.6.
So far these tires are doing really good though.
10.2.
A little bit of wheels up action. Jack her up. Myself into a little bit of a hole there. See if we can't get it out. Alright, round 2. Let's try that again. Again, that was more or less my fault. I didn't take the line the correct way that I usually take it. I was kind of trying to get a little extra side hill action. Should have just taken the reverse. And then as you can see, you take that reverse, and this time we have no problems. So, as I said, that was my fault, not the rig's fault. I didn't take the correct line. Tires seem to be conforming really nice. I'm really liking this setup so far. There's not too many J Concepts tires I haven't tried yet and haven't liked. Still haven't tried the Bounty Hunters, so we'll have to get a set of those and see how they do. But so far, literally every tire that I've tried, the Hunks, the Holds, Landmines, Tusks, Scorpios, they've all obviously Ruptures are one of the greatest of all time. They've all been great. This chassis is just performing amazing. Definitely set it up really well this time. Except for a couple of mess ups that were, again, my own fault. Nothing to do with the chassis, it was just my line choice was not exactly correct. See if we can't get this downhill right here. This is a tough one. Usually I have to gas it out a little bit. Oh, not too bad. There we go. Alright, final line here. Let's see if we can get it. This is a really steep, almost about a 90-degree angle downward. And there has been some rocks removed from it. So we'll see if we can hang on to it and still make it with those couple rocks removed. It's one of those you really want to just be slow. Let the truck do the work itself. Go too fast and you're going to flip right over. Look at that. The holds are able to just grab right on the back right there and prevent this thing from falling right down. Well, let's see if we can complete it. We're halfway there. Boom. Beautiful. Alright, well that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Come back again next week. Not sure what we're going to do for a video for next week yet, but we will figure it out when that happens. Have fun, guys. Again, thank you for tuning in.